guys, welcome yet to another video. It's Ndagire here. This is a very sad video, honestly, and I'm a person that kind of saw these things happen, and it's sad. It is really sad. This is about this lady that was identified to be an Ethiopian lady who is being sold in Libya to slavery. And guys, that is really traumatizing. Guys, I always tell you that slavery has never left, especially when it comes to the African continent. It has really never left, and people kind of excuse it. People don't want to talk about it. I've shared it when it comes to the Middle East on how a lot of African young women are flew in these countries of the Middle East and are doing the most worst kind of things that anyone could ever think of. And every time that we come out and talk about these things, people are like, oh, why do you go there? Why do you take yourselves? Why do you accept yourselves to go in those places? Guys, life happens. But when it reaches a point where you have to be kidnapped and being sold for $6,000, that's when the straw has to be done. Like, that's when it's like, that's crazy. Because guys, $6,000 is not worth making someone a slave. It's not worth it. Guys, listen to this story, come back, and let's talk about it.
Can someone explain to me how we still have slavery in 2025? This picture is not from a history book. This is happening today. Today, her name is Naima Jamal. Naima Jamal, that's her name. She's 20 years old. 20 years old. She is being sold into slavery in Libya. I don't need to remind everybody what's the demographic of a day in Libya. This is happening in Libya. They are selling black people in Libya. Listen, if you're a young black woman and you ever wondered how much these people will sell you into slavery, your price tag will be $6,000. That's how much these people value a black woman's life. $6,000. I'm literally confused. How is this not international news? How is this not everywhere on the news? But we all know why. Because these are black people being sold. These are black people being sold. Nobody cares. Nobody cares when it's black people. Right now, I'm just want to find out what happened to her. What happened to Naima Jamal? Where is she? What happened to her?
So there was a video that I saw here on TikTok. And this video is of a woman who someone said they had identified as Ethiopian. And this woman was actually being auctioned for $6,000 in the country that was destroyed. And this country that was destroyed in the name of democracy, and they killed their leader, Muammar Gaddafi. They killed him. And now it has turned into a slave market for Africans trying to go to Europe. And they are funded. So there are different factions who are funded by many countries. Because if you listen to Giorgia Meloni of Italy, she says that the work she has done with Northern Africa to stop people from crossing the channel. What exactly does she mean? What do the European leaders mean when they say they've worked with countries like Tunisia, Libya, and all those countries to stop people from crossing over to Europe? What exactly do they mean? So you know what? There's now gangs who are selling people who look like me. When will all this shit ever end? You know, like, it's like one thing and then another and then another and then another. It's like, seriously, like, when will these people stop traumatizing Africans? Exactly when? When? And the reason that Africans are fleeing is because these people just will not leave Africa alone.
So they found out her name. Her name is Naima Jamal. Naima Jamal. Do not forget that. Naima Jamal. This is in reference to the Ethiopian woman whose picture is doing the rounds on social media right now, who was photographed in Libya being sold for $6,000. In the picture, you can see her. She's hog-tied. There are a bunch of other more black people behind her, and they're being sold. And her name, they found out who she is. Her name is Naima Jamal. Now, the reason I'm making this video, I'm not going to upload the video, the image, obviously, because black trauma, I'm tired of spreading that shit. But the reason I'm having this conversation is a couple months after, what's his name, Gaddafi fell, this became a thing. Back then, black Africans were being sold for $400. $400. Fast forward 2025. Not only has it has thrived to where inflation has, now they're being sold for $5,000, $6,000. That's how much Naima is being sold for. Which brings me to my next thing is, this is, when I talk on my lives, I keep saying we need to learn how to use people of other races who want to help us. Let me give you an example. Can you imagine if right now, if we found 2 Jewish women and 1 Jewish man, and we took them to, like, there's Libya, there's parts of Libya you can go to where it's safe. So we go as a community, black, we get 2 white Jewish women and 1 Jewish man, and we go to Libya together. They're on our team, right? And then we tie them up. The reason I say Libya is because of geolocation, geotagging. It needs to be seen that it was taken in Libya. We tie up these 2 Jewish women and 1 Jewish man the same way and take a picture of them and upload it to the internet for sale. Watch how quickly Israel will come in and shut down the slave market. But no other African country is willing to do this for their people. Nigeria, if she's out, we have not heard a single word from the Ethiopian government. Not a single word. And that's I'm tired, man. I really am. I wish I could go online and just be carefree, like do Dennis and all these, because one thing is clear: every time I've built a platform online, regardless of where it is, I've always had a big following and I've always gone viral, from TikTok to Reddit. Like, I've had the #1 post on Reddit like 4 times in a row. I've had, like, the only app that I've never gone viral on is Twitter. I've gone viral on other. My point here is, every single time I start creating a platform, I get followers, I get people that come, and then eventually I start to try to, like, I can never, no matter what I start doing, type of content I start doing, it always ends up being this kind of content, and I'm tired, man. Like, not.
It's really disappointing that a country like Libya, that was governed by the late Gaddafi, that was leading in the African way of, educating people in terms of managing their resources, in terms of really caring for the people, is now a country that is selling its own people into slavery. Like, I also have to put this into, like, the religion kind of a sense. A lot of Muslim people go through a lot of things, but because of religion, they choose not to speak up, they choose not to say anything, because they are somehow going to feel attacked or be attacked within their community of their religion. And it's ridiculous, guys. I always, like, talk about how it was when I went to, like, the Middle East in Dubai. It was so freaking crazy for African people. Even today, African people are still not respected. They are not given opportunities. They are like openly discriminated, and people don't really give, like, a lot of attention when it comes to that. And this is why sometimes I really don't like when we focus a lot on white racism, or why people did this, why people did that, they did that. Guys, Arabs are still doing that today to African people. Even the black people themselves are doing this to their freaking fellow black people. Like, how can you give up your own person? How can you auction a person for $6,000? Like, is that going to make you a billionaire? Is that going to make you a millionaire? Are you going to, like, survive the whole of eternity for selling a human being? And this is why I don't even blame black Americans, or people in the diaspora, black people, when they come and say, we sold them into slavery. Because if we are still seeing this today in 2025, you can't tell me it never happened in history. If you're able to sell a human being today, you can't tell me you didn't sell your brothers, your sisters, our ancestors for freaking mirrors in history. Because this is really disturbing. It's disturbing, and it's happening to a lot of women. And what is more shocking to me, the story I always give, like, guys, I went to this house when I was working in Dubai, and there were, I think, 2 Ethiopian girls. They did not know English, okay, but the way they were treated, because I went there, I was a cleaner, I went there and I was mobile, so I could leave. These girls could not understand anything. They would yell at them, like I would see their bosses yell at them, and they would not say anything. They would not say anything. And I feel like a lot of women from northern African countries go through this a lot, but it's just not put in the media because of the religion that they have within them. Because it's like, God forbid if people come out and speak about Islam, like, oh, our fellow, Muslim people did this to us. That's where it all ends up to. I really hate, like, this really pisses me off. I've seen a lot of women lose lives. Like, if you go to the Middle East, guys, the number of deaths that you're going to hear about African people will shock you, but it will never be in the news. You would be here and you hear, like, your neighbor passed on in a different flat. Their boss did something to them. My fellow people from Uganda, from Kenya, from East Africa, when they go to those countries, guys, they are treated like BS. No freedom of speech. They take your passports, they take your documents, they make you sign things you don't understand. And because of desperation, this is why I speak about, this is an issue that the African Union, African governments need to come and really engage themselves into. Like, why are we still suffering in 2025? Why? And it's actually more sad to say that most of the companies that also do these things, like smuggling, allegedly, or some, yeah, they are owned by, people in the system, in the government. They are, like, these companies are owned by individuals that know people in the government. So it is it's like, it is a business. Actually, it is a business that is giving these people money that they would rather sell their own people than to see us liberated. That's the reality of what we are facing as African people. This is a sad picture. This is sad to see as a woman. This is scary to see as a woman, that you can be here and you get kidnapped and be sold to be a slave somewhere else in another country. Make it make sense. Why isn't the African, what is the use of the African Union, by the way? Like, I don't understand. Why do we have these titles, these big institutions that are not even fighting for an African face, for a freaking black face? How? In a country that was really doing well, the fact that now it's at a point where people have to sell their own to survive guys, that's how pissed I am. Like, this, it kind of really triggers me because I've kind of seen it. So it really gets to me. Like, it's sad. When you go to most African airports, the number of women you're going to see flying and leaving to go and be slaves in outside nations, they will choke you. You'll feel it. That's how sad it is. That's how sad it is. So when I say that also our leaders are a problem, that they don't stand up to fight for us, that's the reality. Because why is this not in the media? Why is this not talked about a lot? Why is this not pushed a lot? Why do we have to go through these things when we have governments, when we have institutions, when we have these people that claim to, want to represent us, but they don't even do it? Like, make it make sense. This is so horrible. It is so horrible in so many ways, very disgusting. And whoever is doing this, Kama will always catch up to them. Like, it has to. Oh God, guys, that is it for me, the video. I can't add on this. I just can't. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video.